Hey there, it's Jimmy again. I'm down in Denver at a junkyard, and let's see what we can find today. We're in the domestic section, so there's all kinds of interesting stuff, but I had my eye on this one special little treat. But first, if you liked what you've been watching, please do hit subscribe and like. Feel free to leave comments, and either I or somebody else will most likely answer them. I hope everything's going good, so let's dive right in. This is a 1990 Pontiac 6000 SE with the rare all-wheel drive package. Kind of interesting. I mean, this is an A-body. The 6000, the platform mates were the Sierra, old Sierra, the Chevy Celebrity, of course, and yeah. But introduced for 82, the A-body became quite the prolific seller and lasted for quite some time in GM stable. I think pretty much everybody has known somebody or has owned one of these at one point or another. And if nothing else, you've most likely rented one. The 6000, the Pontiac 6000, was always interesting because they had a Pontiac 6000 STE, which was a pretty sporty vehicle. Never mind that there was the Celebrity Euro Sport, which was really just a trim package. The 6000 STE really got a firmer suspension, always had the 2.8 liter V6, and definitely more interesting, definitely the most import-like, I think, of any of the domestic offerings at the time. But for 1990, the STE went away. So the SE kind of took over for it. And for 1990, the SE also got the standard all-wheel drive, which I believe, though, went away again for 91. So this is pretty rare. It's kind of a one-year only model. 1990 Pontiac SE all-wheel drive. And what's cool about it is by this time, it had gotten the 3.1 liter. So 135 horsepower, which seems pretty weak for a 3.1 V6 these days, but back then was not too shabby, with either a 3-speed or I believe an optional 4-speed automatic. Not quite sure though with the all-wheel drive system if that forced the 4-speed or not. Somebody might know, right? But let's take a look at this. This is obviously, well, like I said, it's a 1990, so it's from later on in the model run of the 6000. This one's missing the trunk lid, as we can see, but it got a whole different set of taillights with the amber section, and obviously it went full width, went all the way across, although the middle section did not light up. This one is kind of a monochromatic blue with the oh so popular around 1990 gold trim, which, I don't know, not really my thing, but could be for some of you guys. And hey, I'm not the one buying it, so it's all good. You saw a lot of the gold trim on Jeeps and also on Chrysler minivans in this era. So, but let's, this isn't bad. I mean, this has a little bit of the Pontiac ribbed cladding, or really it's not cladding, right? It's just it's the rub strips that have a lot of the ribs on it. You have these interesting wheels, which kind of have a lot going on, also with the gold in the pockets here of the fluting. Pontiac is very proud that they offer APS to the point of putting it in their actual wheels, which was sort of a domestic thing, or especially a GM thing. They kind of advertised ABS all over the place. Was it for 89 or was it 90? Got this new grille here with the separate little driving lights in the middle and the one-piece composite lights. Everything seemed to be body color. Pontiac Arrowhead logo is right there. Headlights were glass, and these were actually Bosch. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that Bosch was a supplier to Pontiac for headlights anyway. Pretty wild. So, but like I said, the 6000 was basically a front-wheel drive car, and then obviously they had the all-wheel drive option, which this one has. All-wheel drive became pretty popular in the late 80s. Audi popularized it. The Camry had an all-wheel drive option. Subaru was obviously getting bigger. And then the whole all-wheel drive thing kind of went away for a while, and then it came back with a vengeance in the 2000s. So now you can get all-wheel drive anything pretty much. But let's take a look. What else can we see? Let's take a look under the hood. So this could be interesting. Should be the 3.1 V6. Yeah, there it is. 3.1 multi-port fuel-injected V6. And I guess it's a decent engine. I'm a bigger fan of obviously the Pontiac 3800 3.8, but that's a lot bigger, especially for this size chassis vehicle. The 3.1 did pretty well, 135 horses, like I said, and this one still looks pretty complete. No one seems to have taken too much out of it, which will, when we get to the inside, I'll show you a couple things that'll make that kind of doubly interesting. I would have thought that this engine would not be here anymore by this time, but who knows? So this one's been in this yard for a little over a week now. So usually by that time, the better engines are gone. So let's take a look quickly. Well, we kind of saw the trunk space already, right? Because there was no trunk lid. So we had a pretty normal domestic trunk. Where'd the wheel go? I don't know where the wheel was. I think it was underneath the floor. No. Huh. You know, with the all-wheel drive system, they may have had to move where the spare tire was. And this is obviously a cover for it. And then looking, oh wow, really? Okay, so check this out. So this is where the spare tire would have gone. So the spare tire would have been right there, which is a major impingement on trunk space in the Pontiac 6000. And that kind of sucks. I mean, this is a family car. You're going to be hauling people and luggage. To have half your trunk space taken up by is that even a full size? I guess probably a full size spare is not good. Obviously, the all-wheel drive system took up a bunch of the underfloor area, most likely. So, can we see any of that? Yeah, there's the shaft from it into there. Yeah, there's the whole suspension for it. Interesting. And not quite sure what exactly is under the trunk there, but definitely took up a lot of space that they couldn't lower that back down at all. So kind of wild, interesting. But let's take a look inside, because it's pretty interesting in here. A lot of people hate touch screens these days, obviously, but this one, I mean, this is a Pontiac thing, right? Look at all the buttons on the steering wheel. You know, all kinds of, these are all just the radio buttons. Tune, scan, fade, preset, balance, everything. So you're kind of staring at this when you're adjusting your radio, which I don't know if that's really much better. Although you can just go straight over here to the GM Delco system and do it all on the radio itself. So, but take a look at that dashboard. It's pretty wild. It's huge. There's all kinds of stuff. Starting out with the driver information center on the left. Then you have a ribbon speedometer. Then you have an RPM gauge with lights above it. Fuel gauge, temp, oil, and voltage. Going practically all the way over to the passenger area. Got the vents here. Rear defroster. Love how you have an on and a separate off button. Why don't you just have one button that does both? Would seem to be cheaper, but I don't run GM now, and I probably won't in the future. So this one, though, what's most interesting, though, is look at the mileage. This thing only has 75,288 miles on it. So basically, just broke in, right? For 1990, so for 33 years, this sat in someone's garage or whatever. Didn't get driven much. Eventually ended up at the junkyard. So that's why I was, surprised that the engine was still here. At some point, you'd think that would be something somebody would want to take. The seats are the typical, pretty good actually, GM velour. Bucket seats in the front, which is nice. Full center console here with a big bin. Then you had electric adjustable seats, obviously, the automatic, either a 3 or a 4-speed. And then, oh, here we go. So the all-wheel drive, you could lock it into full-time all-wheel drive or keep it in normal. So lock, limited use only, probably only very slippery surfaces. And then normal will be, probably might be an on-demand system, not 100% sure. And room for 3 cassette tapes right down there. Lovely. So, what else is there? Let's see. Kind of, sort of a Pontiac thing, pretty hard plastics and always kind of a techie motif here. So this little checkerboard pattern on the power window switches, which is also repeated around the headlights and so forth. At this point, these all got the seat belts in the door, which I've had a car with these and it worked fine, but yeah, the question always is, what if the door pops open in an accident? Then you kind of fall out, right? So, I don't know. Thrown clear. Hopefully that all works. Who knows? Let's check out the back seat. And that's pretty roomy. It's decent legroom. This is kind of pouchy right now, but looks pretty comfortable. No headrests, obviously, in this year. This is a 91, so where would this is a 90. Where would the third brake light be? Would it be part of the trunk lid? Huh, maybe it was. I mean, normally, I think most A-bodies had it up on the deck lid, right? Not quite sure. But this had the premium sound with the better speakers in the back. Not bad. Then you had this kind of cloth headliner that's got a lot of holes in it, although it's not sagging, so that's nice. And then these D-pillar trims are hard plastic here that kind of go all around the window. And then let's see, someone's got their Windows 95 Quick and Basic 99 to do their budgeting or taxes on. Separate ashtray in the back, little courtesy light. Obviously full power here too. And these are the power locks, kind of made a thunking noise. Yeah, let's see, can we see when this was built? Yes, this was built in, looks like December 1989, so interesting. And this would have been, actually I'm not sure where these were built. These were built in several places around the country during their run. So who knows who got the Pontiac 6000 all-wheel drive version. One of them did though, obviously. Let's see if there's something interesting in the passenger side. Let's see, oh, okay, so, same bucket seat obviously. And then here you had ERC, electronic ride control. So perhaps some kind of electric shock. And Pontiac 6000 SE logo there. This opens, ooh. This is the trunk release, which we don't need. Pull this and get to all the fuses. Not bad. And then let's see here. This is the manual. Look at that. 1990 Pontiac 6000 Owner's Manual. The Pontiac mission statement. Pontiac is a car company known for innovative styling and engineering that results in products with outstanding performance and roadability. Yada, yada, yada. So, interesting. Oh, look at that. What's wrong with this? How to wear your safety belts. That's funny, actually. Quiz you. What's the color? Nice. Nice how the brochure is here. And then this is, oh, that's the back cover of the brochure. I guess it's falling apart. And that's just the old registration. And look, an SE all-wheel drive badge. And oh, this is heavy. This is solid metal. Wow. So somebody kept this. I'll stick it right there. Maybe somebody here in the yard will want it. And then I'll put that back in there and button it all up. What else do we have? Oh, someone here was working on fixing something. Not sure if that's part of this car or a different car, but lots of pieces. Oh, wrapped in newspaper. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out how old this is. This is sports section of the Denver Post, November 3rd, 2011. So there we go. We're talking about Shanahan, talking about the Broncos, right? So something, who's to blame for the Broncos mess? That's kind of a usual refrain. Here's some ads. What was stuff going for? A new 2011 Jeep Patriot 4x4, $14,990. 2012 Wranglers, here and now. Over 600 vehicles available. Very, very cool. And then there are more cars. Yeah, let's see. Get a brand new Journey for $59,900. A 2012 Avenger for $11,900. Oh boy. All kinds of trucks and stuff. I like looking at old newspapers. It's kind of fun to see what happened back in the day. And here we have more bits from maybe this car, maybe a different car. I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, oh, as usual, this is body by Fisher. So, like most GM cars, it's a little less impressive when it's stamped into a plastic piece and you know this thing was just stamped out a GM assembly plant, right? So, anyway, that was the Pontiac 1990 Pontiac 6000 SE all-wheel drive. Like I said, if you like what you saw, please do hit subscribe, and we'll keep making these. So, thank you very much, and we'll see you the next one. Bye.